Hello and welcome to the video on the Ribnet April 2022 Sib and Rib trip. This year we set off from Largs Marina and used their slipway as opposed to the public slipway, which is very close by that we normally use. The public slipway now has no overnight parking. This is me, my good friend Peter. We travelled up together. It was an easy launch into very sheltered waters and we moved the boats up ready to go. The only problem with marinas for me is I always get a serious case of boat envy. As you can see, I've changed my boat. I've sold the trusty Sea Rider and I now have a 5-metre brig. Once Highland Haggis had joined us, we set off for Little Cumbrae Castle, where we planned to spend this first night. Highland Haggis had just fitted a new outboard to his Sib, so wanted to keep the speed down while he was running it in. This gave us a leisurely 10 to 12 knots heading over to Little Cumbrae. Peter's also changed his boat and now has a 5-metre Humber. It was freezing cold, but we didn't mind because the sea conditions were good. We've stayed in the castle on Little Cumbrae before, but Highland Haggis popped over to see the caretaker just to make sure it was okay for tonight. It was fine, and there's even an honesty box there now, so you can make a little donation for staying over. Unfortunately we didn't have any cash, but you can also do it online. As we were setting up, we were also joined by Ron and his son Archie. We all enjoyed a good catch up in front of a nice fire. In the morning we packed up, heading back to Largs Marina where we would meet Stuart and any other people that had decided to come along on the trip. We were blessed with lovely sunny conditions, if a little cold at times. While some of the vessels are absolutely stunning, I would not like the fuel bills or the maintenance. And surprisingly, the skippers of some of these big vessels that I've met are jealous of us because we can go where we want and pretty much when we want. Stuart joined us in his nicely set up Quicksilver Rib that's got a 2-stroke tiller steer outboard. That's Ron on my port side. He's running an Ocean Pro 5.3 metre. From Largs we made the short trip over to Rothesay. We had to wait outside until the Calmac ferry had arrived and departed before we could gain entrance to the harbour. Once inside under the swing bridge, you'll find a beautiful little harbour with plenty of visitor moorings. I was surprised to find such a lovely castle, but unfortunately we didn't have time to look around. After a short stop we headed back out to sea. Planning to head north around the Isles of Bute. This is such a good place to be in your boat. We all made good time in the perfect conditions. We set up camp for the night on a rocky outcrop with a small beach next to it in the northern part of the Sound of Arran. Day 3 used to be our last day, but we still wanted to enjoy it. Peter and I headed south along the Sound of Arran to meet up with the rest of the group, who were heading north on the shorter route, where we'd meet up at Brodick for some lunch. We had great conditions for most of the route. We kept a steady 23 to 24 knots. It was only as we passed Holy Island that we encountered a few waves. These were very slight and only knocked a couple of knots off our speed. Once suitably refreshed at Brodick, we headed back to Largs. The flat calm sea had gone now, but it wasn't anything too bad and we enjoyed the run across to Largs.